All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kakadash, and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Ba'Hashem, in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Lashon Kadash tongue. And I say Barak Thumb to the elders, apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a prophecy update as of January the 25th. 2025 on this Saturday night. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post. And it says U.S. teacher put on leave after allegedly calling Palestinian child indiscreetness. A public teacher in Pennsylvania was put on leave after allegedly calling a Palestinian American middle school student a extremist. The school district and a Muslim advocate group says. The Central Dublin School District said Saturday it had learned about the allegations the teacher made a comment last week at the school program. The teacher has been involved in an alleged incident on administration leave pending our investigation. The district said in a statement, adding that no tolerance for RSIST speech. The Council of American Islamic Relations said the allegation was that the teacher has remarked, I do not negotiate with TERRORISTS with the Palestinians. American student asked for a seat of change. The district was a CAIR, did not name the teacher or the student. CHIR said it was in touch with the child's parents. Bring up that St. Mark. It's the book of St. Mark, chapter 3. It's the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Right, kingdoms being divided, and nation being divided among the nations, and kingdoms being divided as well too in modern day times. Verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. St. Mark 3, verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself, be divided, cannot stand, but having end. And this is another news article from the Jerusalem Post, from npost.com, published by Reuters, January 26, 2025, and reads, North Korea fires a strategic cruise missiles, vows to tougher stance on U.S. North Korea conducted a strategic cruise missiles test on Saturday. The state media KCNA reported on Sunday. The country's leader, Kim Jong-un, oversaw the test, according to the report, which is described as a test fire on an important weapon system. The underwater to surface strategic cruise missiles traveled 1,500 kilometers and flew between 7,507 and 7,511 seconds before hitting the targets, the KCNA reports. In a separate KCNA report on Sunday, North Korea Foreign Minister vows the toughest counteraction against the United States as long as Washington refused to preordain sovereignty. The military alliance and joint drills between South Korea and the United States were to blame for the growing tensions in the region, minister says in a statement carried out by the KCNA. The statement came as President Donald Trump did an interview on Thursday and said that he will reach out to Kim Jong-un after the two develop on a working relationship in Trump's first term. Bring up that Matthews. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right as we're hearing as Kim Jong-un fired off one of his cruise missiles surface. I think it's like a surface to air cruise missile that they tested of the rising tensions between North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States. It says ye should hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet. Matthew 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation. Right, North Korea versus South Korea. It says for nation shall rise against nation, right, Russia versus Ukraine, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. Bring out some more news articles. And this is another news article. This is from the Jerusalem Post as of January 26, 2025, and reads by Reuters. It says U.S. may put very big bounty on Taliban leaders. Secretary of State Rubio says. It says the U.S. placed a very bounty on the top leaders of Taliban. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Saturday, adding that he was worried that he was hearing that the Taliban has had more American hostages than previous reported. Just hearing the Taliban is holding more American hostages has been reported, Rubio has said in a post on social media platform size X Twitter. If this is true, we will have to immediately put a very big bounty on their top leader, maybe even bigger than the one we had on bin Laden, he added. And this is the book of Ecclesiasticus. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus 3 verse 8. In a time to love, in a time of HATE, in a time of war, in a time of peace. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras 15 verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. 2nd Esdras 15 verse 15. For the sword the expression draweth nigh. One people should stand up and fight against another with swords in hands. 2nd Esdras 15 verse 16. For there should be sedition among men invading one another. They should not regard their kings or their princes in the course of action stay their power. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. And in verse 3, it says, therefore, when it should be seen earthquakes, uproars, people in the world, right? Increasing earthquakes and increasing uproars, people in the world, which we see in our world today. This is the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. And there should be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth. Disgressive nations will perplex and seize which one. Right, so increasing disgressive nations will perplex and seize which one, which we see more and more and more.
History made in snowboarding with Hiroto Omiwara's 2340, again as a rookie with a broken arm that day. But he inspired another one because this young man from Italy, Miro Capitelli, said, I can do one too here on my skis.
It says a flight halt for Afghans. Afghans approved for special U.S. visa advocate, officials say.
Continues to borrow on NBC with 3 hours of coverage at 1 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Eastern,
13 arrests in Valhalla, claiming that they were politicized to cheer Iranian media reports. It says Israel closed hundreds of miles from Golan Heights to Syrian border.
This is Sports Center.
Hi, hello. We're calling with you on a Saturday night. What's that saying about Levesque?
Let's go to RT.com.
What revamp parties we've got going on this weekend?
Good point. Why would we get the NBA as well? Not only gave us a rematch of last year's NBA Finals, but also gave us the 25th regular season meeting between LeBron and Steph. Those head-to-head matchups, dead even at 12 with Hughes coming in, but Steph obviously holds the advantage in the playoffs. The Warriors looking to get back to that Christmas Day loss at home as well. How about Steph knocking down the three?
It says Trump conforms a foreign aid freeze. U.S. could soon become a bigger country, Trump reports. Trump allows Israel to use heavy bombs, media reports. It says the EU military chief wants troops in Greenland. Right, and that comes after the potential report of Trump potentially sending troops over there in Greenland to try to occupy, you know, from an economical perspective as well too. Potentially he made that statement. Now, after he made that statement, you had this news article was saying that from January the 25th, 2025, and it reads from RT.com. It says the EU military chief wants troops in Greenland. Brussels have interest on the island, just like Washington. General Rob Rushker has said, pointing to tensions with Russia and China. The European Union should deploy military forces in Greenland, and a chairman of the EU Military Committee, EUMC, General Robert Berger, said in an interview published Saturday, he cited Greenland's geopolitical importance and tensions with Russia and China as the reason for this suggestion. And it comes after President Donald Trump has been laying claim to the island. It would make perfect sense not to station U.S. forces in Greenland, and it has been in the case to date, but also to consider stationing EU soldiers there in the future. Bridget told the DIE what referring to the major U.S. military bases it has been since the early 1940s. Such an appointment would send a strong signal and could contribute to stability in the region. Believe the foreign Austrian chief of staff, who currently leads the body that includes the chief of staff, the EU member of state. Bridger said that although the autonomous Danish territory has not illegally as part of the bloc, the Europeans, just like the U.S., has interest in Greenland. It says the general cited had rich deposits of raw materials on the island and proximity to international trade routes, and calling it an area of great importance for the geopolitical point of view. He also described territory as a highly relevant from a security perspective. Referring to the U.S. claims of the island, Bridget said that he expected Washington to respect the territorial integrity of their actions, of the other nations in the UN Charter. Instead, the general addressed and potentially tensions with Russia and possibly China in the area if the polar ice caps continues to melt due to climate change. Greenland has been grabbing headlines recently as Trump has repeatedly claimed that ownership of Denmark's environment-rich Arctic island is necessary for the U.S. national security. Earlier this month, he refused to roll out a military solution.
We saw them in the finals, and Kristaps Porzingis is playing his first game in Dallas since he was traded by the Mavericks in 2022. Jaylen Brown.
It's the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Right, so modern day kingdoms being divided, Edomites versus Edomites from different countries. Just like the EU, and I believe the representation from EU was stating that up a potential to deploy EU troops over there, of the ongoing tensions that they have of the United States potentially trying to occupy Greenland, as you had one of the representations of EU to potentially send troops over there, while they've been having the rising tensions between Russia and China, if I'm not mistaken, as I read that news article. So that's modern day kingdoms being divided. Edomites, Idumea, Ashashra, he that wastes away. Yep, St. Mark there, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Right, that's what we're saying.
Brown, 22. And then under 2 minutes, Celtics up 11. White, Jason Tatum. Tatum had 24 in all 5.
All right, Thomas, they first go with here on Sports Center. And look, you know what it's like to win an NBA championship. Your former team trying to do that this year. But they're 6-5 in their last 11. In terms of the route you need to defend the title, how would you assess where the Celtics are right now? Oh, hold on. I know you're not pulling the blitz yourself. No.
It says Orban will face consequences for blocking sanctions public. Polish Prime Minister reports. It says ballistic sea won't become NATO's internal lake. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister reports. It says this is another sign potentially of wars or rumors of wars. As you know, as we've been seeing, tensions definitely been heating up between Russia and NATO. It says this is a news article as of January the 25th, 2025, and it reads, ballistic sea won't become NATO's internal lake, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister reports. Moscow will respond appropriately to any moves by the U.S.-led bloc in the region. Dresko has said Russia will do everything necessary to protect the interests of the ballistic sea, amending increasing NATO activities in the region. The Deputy Foreign Minister, Alexandra Dresko, has said in mid-January, NATO announced the launch of the Ballistic Central Mission, saying it is aimed at patrolling the ballistic after a key underwater cables were damaged in the area last year. According to Rusko, the U.S.-led military bloc dream of turning the ballistic sea into its eternal lake will not come to fruition because Russia will not allow this, he told Russia 24 TV on Friday. We will do everything necessary to make sure that our interests in the ballistic sea region reliable, protected, and the diplomatic says, clarifying that he was talking about the military dimensions. As a Pacific countermeasures by Russia, they will be determined based on the activities of NATO and its individual members in the region, he stated. Rusko expressed it that the approximately 10 vessels allocated by NATO for patrolling the sea as part of the ballistic central mission will be able to take the area under control. However, he argued that a close eye kept on the rhetoric to our rivals regarding the actions in the region. Moscow wants the ballistic sea to be cooperation as a sea of interactions, a sea through we trade and carry out via shipping routes that have been running for centuries, the deputy minister discussed it. Last year, Nikolai Patrulsky, the former head of Russian Security Council, currently serves as the aide in the President Vladimir Putin warned that the West is seeking to provide Russia access to ballistic seas, according to the Peskov, NATO's newest members, Sweden and Finland, are being used as an attempt to turn it into the blocks of internal sea. Bring up that Matthews. And this is the book of Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? Wars and rumors of wars. NATO versus Russia. Tension's been heating up on both sides. That definitely includes the wars and rumors of wars. Yep, it says ye should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
We're also going to hop over to the City of Lights for part 2 of Wendy's Homecoming, which only affirmed Big Perk's big prediction for the NBA's biggest import. That's next. This is Sports.
Your story is like no other. Your ring can be too. Sign yours and save up to 35% off. Only at K.
To truly embrace the fun life, you must learn to let go. Bienvenidos a la vida más linda. There would be an hour in the day that I didn't think about everything. I chose Nutrafol because it was 100% drug-free and clinically tested. I experienced thickness, volume. Nutrafol is life-changing.
It says North Korea says it tested guided missiles and vows to toughest response to U.S. That's from ABC News. That's another sign of wars and rumors of wars. It says some 70 people killed in an attack on a hospital in Sudan's Darfur region. Right, as we've been seeing, ongoing increasing escalations heating up over there in Sudan and South Sudan as well too. It says thousands of German protests the rise of the far right ahead of next month's elections.
Who doesn't need to save more time and money?
Download the Experience app now.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin night and day. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. But now I have Rinvoq. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that reduces the itch.
It says Israeli military said it won't withdraw from Lebanon by deadline set of roadblocks. It said thousands of protesters. It said tens of thousands of protests. Germans far right as Musk endures the AFP. Right, so that's upwards of people in the world. Luke 21 verse 25 and 2nd Edition verse 3 as well too. It says Israel kills 14, including child, in a latest invasion in Jenin. Another sign of upwards of people in the world. It says China tells Rubio to behave himself in vow warning. Because throughout the years recently, you've been seeing economic wars between China and the United States and increasing rumors of wars of Russia. Increasing rumors of wars of China and the United States as well too throughout the years and recently as well too. And this is a news article from the home news front from Newsmax.com, and it reads, China tells Rubio to behave himself in a vow. It says China warns Taiwan with rounds of military drills. I don't know if that was recently. It says China tells Rubio to behave himself in a veiled warning. It says the Chinese veteran foreign minister has issued a veiled warning to Americans' new Secretary of State behave himself. Foreign Minister Wang Yi conveyed the message in a phone call Friday, their first conversation since Marco Rubio's confirmation as President Donald Trump's top diplomat 4 days earlier. I hope you will act accordingly, Wang told Rubio, according to the foreign minister statement, employing a Chinese phrase typically used by a teacher or a boss warning a student or employing a behalf and responsible for their actions. And the short phase seems aimed at Rubio's vocal criticism of China and its human rights when he was a U.S. senator, when he prompted China's government put sanctions on him twice in 2020. It was translated various ways in the past. Foreign minister he has used made the right choice and be very prudent about what you say or do rather than act accordingly. The vacuous allows the phase to express the expectations and deliver a valid warning while also maintaining the courtesy necessary for further diplomatic engagements, says Jiaxing Wang, a researcher fellow at the Center for China and Globalization, a China think tank. Could appear to be confusing as those the extent effect originating from the Chinese traditional wisdom and classic practice of speech, said Wang, who is currently in the mid-career master's program at Princeton University. Rubio, during his confirmation hearing, cited the importance of referring to the original Chinese to understand the words of China and leadership of Xi Jinping. Don't read the English translations that they put out there because English translation is never right, he said. It says the U.S. statement on the phone call didn't mention the phrase. He said Rubio told Wang that the Trump administration would advance the U.S. interest in its relationship with China and express serious concerns over China's aggressive actions against Taiwan in the South China Sea. It says Wang was foreign minister in 2020 when China slapped sanctions on Rubio in July and August. First, in response to U.S. sanctions on Chinese officials for a crackdown on the Uruguay minority in the Xinjiang region, and never what it regarded as outside interference in Hong Kong. It says the sanctions includes a ban on travels to China, while the Chinese government has indicated it will engage with Rubio as Secretary of State and hasn't explicitly said whether it will allow him to visit the country for talks.
You have teams like the Atlanta Hawks, the Detroit Pistons are starting to pick it up, and you got the defending champs. So at the end of the day, it's going to go out. This team goes as far as Tyrese Halliburton carry them. And until you start being more consistent, the trust is not going to be there. Look, I don't know if they need to make a move tonight. That is yet to be seen. But I strongly believe that they have enough. They have perimeter defense there. They have enough scoring power. They just got to make sure that they're clicking on my.
So check ArabNews.com for more prophecy updates.